Hello there, my name is Rachel. The first time seeing my channel, I used to review cartoon series, anime series, so something completely random. And today we're going to talk about Black Cat Island, what it is, and basically exploring it, what is this map, and what is in this area in other words. And I think we'll start with a sort of fun facts. I think one of the fun facts is this island is outside of Mexico. Specifically, we don't know, because this island is basically very well hidden. Second fun fact is this small island receives about 333,303,000 some people in total. Most of them are just villains working for Black Cat, because Black Cat Island is specifically one main goal. It's basically give services to villains. Because of that, the island is so many people, they actually created their own economy. In other words, they have their own proper money, like a own country in other words. And specifically, the money we call is basically hat coin. You need hat coin to buy, rent, or buy food. But on top of this, the only way we have hat coin is actually work with Black Cat. On top of this, if you want to live in HATSVILLE, you have to be higher ranking. In other words, HATSVILLE is basically what's HQ of Black Cat. Basically, the higher rank you are, the closer you are to Black Cat. Because your ranking, that means you're very important. Probably Black Cat really needs you when they a special service you have is required. In other words, but other than that, that's basically all the fun facts of the island. Well, there is one more, is that Peace, the organization, will try and stop Black Cat. Believe Black Cat is just the title name of the organization. They really don't know Black Cat actually is a real person. That explains a lot why Peace never really attempted to hunt down Black Cat. They think just hunting down the members, not the boss, in other words. They think it's basically he's like a mystery question person, in other words. I know that. Well, there is one more that I almost forgot. It's basically the people who live on the island. They're not technically stick with the island. The island, how the best way to describe it, is basically like a hotel for villains. That's basically what it is. It's just sort of a hotel where you have needs, they give you the services, and you get out next to 2-3 weeks, maybe a few months, and that's it. That's basically all the fun facts. Now let's start checking the island. Now, where I get this map is from the book of Dementia that basically Dr. Fur described is basically a small chunk of the island. In other words, he not yet fully explored, so future updates will change the island map. But all of this is what it is. Now, the first location of the island called La Taquilla, and this section is basically the entrance of the whole island. It doesn't have sort of an airport or anything. You must go in a La Taquilla entrance. That place you only get in and get out, no other way out. I don't know why, maybe they have rules. The book doesn't really explain that much detail, just sort of give you an example where the entrance goes in. Now, the second location is the Acceso a Cloacas, or in other words, it's basically the source entrance next to the taquilla, and that's where all the questionable things come out of you and get out. In other words, it's the best way to describe it. The third location is the Gran Pieza Ticial. I think I kind of messed up that name, but it's basically a crater with flames on it, and some people guess it's basically a door from hell. That's the best way to describe it, because Dr. Fred doesn't really explain what is it, because he's not yet fully explored. Just leave your own opinion where you think this basically red lava opening cavern really is. Now, the fourth part is the island de Pruebas de Armas H3X. Basically, it's a section of island they use that separate to the main island, and that place is basically experimental. They use all their new technology, experiment at that island, so it explodes. It explodes. But interesting enough, this also used the chemical H3X. I talked about that like a small video a long time ago. I don't know, a long time ago, like a couple of weeks ago. But besides that, it's basically sort of this strange goo that nobody really knows what it is, but they actually use it as some of their weapons. But once more, it's still sort of questionable, but still very useful. But something I'll leave you if you want to know more of that video. Watch that video I made a couple of weeks ago. Anyway. Now, the fifth place is the Hiptos Burritos, or that translated is the lost objects that basically people leave there for some reason. Nobody really knows where this stuff comes out, it just reappears. I guess people don't want to throw their trash outside, or they just too big. Who knows? It's just a bunch of junk people drop in that section. Now, our next area is XOXO, or if you're Mexican, you know what that is. It's basically a reference, a gas station, very well known in Mexico. It actually is sort of like a tribute to that, if you know it or not. Now you know. But other than that, let's go to the next object. Our next section is right next to XOXO. It's basically the desert island. That third section is just death. In other words, there's no best way to describe it. And right next to it is number 8, the Fiera de la Tierra Oscuras, or basically the Mountain of Darkness. It's basically a reference of Lord of the Rings, if you know that reference. Our next location is basically the PLAYA ÁCIDA, or translated to the ocean acid, or acid ocean. I know I mistranslated, but you get the idea. Especially a lake. There we go. That's the best translation. The lake acid that gets you get into it if your skin is very strong and can get burned off. But you get the idea. Now, number 10 is Walmart. And that's pretty much self-explanatory. It's basically a reference of Walmart. But we all know Walmart was pretty evil. It only makes sense why every single inch of the world is because it has a deal of a black cat. But anyway, our next location will be 11, the Alcaldía of HATSVILLE. That's translated to basically the government of HATSVILLE. That it's sort of strange because you have Black Cat who basically runs the whole place. I don't know if you need a government specifically for the country, but at the same time, who is the mayor? Black Cat himself or someone else they elect in the island? We don't know, but it's kind of fun to think about it. Right next to it is called HAT. I don't want to abbreviate because I can't say it, but basically it is where you go to court. In other words, if you broke the law, you get arrested, you get executed or put in prison. That's basically what it is. Next, number 13, the Vertedero de Agua. Basically a factory for water, to clean the water, in other words. Anyway, besides that, let's go to the next section. Number 14, Lago de Sombrero. Basically a small little, I don't know how you describe it. A small little section of water that you just dump all the chemicals, in other words. Like that little sort of pond. That's what it goes. It's like a hat-sized pond that you just drop chemicals. I don't know why, but once more, that's the thing about this island. 15. The area of Black Cat, or the mansion of Black Cat, where basically his HQ, in other words. Right next to it, number 16, Zona por Villainous, or area of the villain street now, where it's like where you rent for villains. Of course, only people who live that section is the basically higher ranking villains. Basically what that really is. Next to that, number 17 is basically the office section, where you want to rent a small section for your own equipment. Things like that, villain things, like you need a secret stash of your weapons. That's basically what this sort of office space really is. Out of that, let's go to the next one. Number 18, Bar de la Morciales, Bar of the Lizards. I have never seen any lizard in the show or in the book, but I guess in many future episodes. Honestly, I don't know. Just leave your own comment when you think what this is. Next area is number 19, La Vigilantes. That translates the guardians, in other words, the protectors of the island. But honestly, it's just a reference to that strange statues you find on Hawaii, if I remember. It's sort of a reference of that strange statues you just found in the side of the islands. But that's basically what it is. Right next to it, number 20, Pozo Hambriento. Translating that to English is basically the well of water. Basically, that's what it is. It's not much to it. It's just go there to get the well. Now, our next location. Number 21, the Momento de Sombrero. It's basically a small mountain next to the island that's shaped like a black cat hat, in other words. And once more, it doesn't really go deep dive where this area really is. Once more, Dr. Flood doesn't really explore that much, just for a little bit. But out of that, let's go to the next one. Number 22, Valle de Fonimunto, or in other words, the pier. That's what it's translated. It's not much to it. Let's go to the next one. 23, Barrio de Mons. In other words, another street of a bunch of villains. I guess this is where all the poor villains or the henchmen live. That's the best way to describe it because it doesn't have much information. Let's go to the next one. Number 24, the Oficina Cooperativas de BHO, or basically the company organization management of Black Hat. They have a sort of section just for promoting stuff of Black Hat if you want more services. Basically what that section really is. Number 25, the Sindicato de Trabajadores. Translate the section to the workers. I guess this section is where you get your missions. Depends what the client wants to do. I guess that once more it doesn't really explain, but you at least give you an idea what this section really does. Next, right next to it, number 26, the restaurant next door, the Silencio de la Correcia. I can't say the name right, I'm so sorry, but it's basically a restaurant if you want to eat of this island, and that's pretty much what it is. Number 27, the Secreta Entrada de Laboratorio, translated to the secret area of the laboratory from Dr. Flood. And that is self-explanatory. That's like an interest behind everything else, so you don't really notice where the secret interest really is. And that's much you can say. Let's go to the next one. Right next to it, number 28, the Yacimiento de H3X, basically where the finding of the chemical H3X that nobody really know what it is, but it's sort of useful for weapons. That's all we know. So this is where the it's H3X comes from, in other words, if you're just curious. Now, number 29, Bosque de las Sombras, basically the forest of the shadows. That does not sound safe. I guess where all the evil villains, rivals, or heroes live them to die, I guess, because they're really explained, but the name doesn't seem safe. I don't know, what do you think? Right next to it, the Jardín de Niños, translated basically the garden for kids. I guess every villain has a child. They have this own little playground of forest and plantation, but at the same time, it's not that safe if you're next to the shadow of trees. Yeah, I don't know you. I'm not gonna let my kid play there. It's a little bit too dangerous. I'm just saying. In our final location, number 31, La Planta de Clorinal. In other words, the section where you get all the energy of the whole country or island. In other words, the plants. Where you basically do chemicals to get energy to run the whole island with power, the light source. I don't know how else to explain it because I don't have the perfect terminology, but hopefully you get the idea of what I'm trying to say. Now, I really got nothing else to say. We explored everything about the island. Hopefully you learned something, you liked something, you have more theories about this island. Tell me down below, let me know. I really got nothing else to say, just one thing. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.